Today, let's walk through my sewing empties of 2024. Welcome, I do sewing and DIY related content, and today's another Stitchmas video where we're going through all the items I used in 2024. Now, I will say this is most of them. Some I did throw away accidentally, but we have a lot here to go through, and we'll just kind of talk through the things that I really like, as well as some of my favorite products of the year. So first, I went through a lot of thread this year, as you can see. The funny part, all of this thread is Coats and Clark. So that is kind of my go-to thread. There's some different types within here, like the dual duty or the all-purpose, but I just go through this thread so often, especially with all the quilting that I've been doing lately. So for this, I would probably say half of these are probably just white thread because that is normally the color that I go with the most, especially with the colors of fabrics that I work with. I just find that this is my go-to on Amazon. You can actually get really large packs of this as well, and I think that's how I have gotten so many of these. You can also get really good deals on them through Joann Fabrics. They'll do like a buy three, get three free, and so you can stock up that way depending on when you need thread, what type of thread you use, but that's kind of my go-to, especially when it comes to stocking up on thread, is doing it when they're either big sales or buying it in bulk because I do go through so much of it. So now I just have to figure out what I'm going to do with all of these. But Coats and Clark is not the only thread that I do use. I have actually started using some of the Singer thread. So this navy blue 100% polyester, this is my second spool of it. I found that this worked really well for a couple of my nicer garments that I made this year, including my wedding guest dress as well as a dress I made for my Taylor Swift Eras tour. And then I also still have this clear thread that I will sometimes use for like very specific purposes, more so that you can't see it. This is just like a plastic thread, but those two items are from Singer. I got them on Amazon, and I'll include links in case you're interested, but this is kind of my collection of threads that I'm using right now. And here's that packaging that the Singer one came in, so it does look a little different than your normal packaging. It shows up like with that cardboard, and then you kind of take it off, but I have used so much thread. Now moving on, I've also used a lot of snaps this year, so I really started using the snaps more at the beginning of the year, and then I haven't focused too much. I find these snaps to be the most helpful. They come in different sizes, so these were actually very large snaps. You can get smaller ones though, so these are sew on snaps. This probably is going to be used through by the end of 2025. But as you can see, I have bought them in different sizes. They come in different colors. Both are really helpful. Then needles. I have gone through a lot of needles this year. I've also tried out a lot of needles, but one thing that stays pretty similar is I normally do go for those Singer needles. I've tried different brands, but just find that the Singer ones do work best for my sewing machine. And they also tend to not break as often. I don't know if that's just something with when I'm using them and I'm sewing, or if it's just that they're slightly better quality. But I've really used both the ballpoint needle as well as just your universal needle. And then I have gotten some of these Singer hand needles. These are very thin, so as you can see, it looks like I've already used through half of them. My only complaint was some of the really tiny ones do seem to snap in half, so not necessarily my favorite purchase. Now, as far as zippers go, I have actually gone through a lot of zippers. I only saved one of these. I've probably gone through about 6 or 7 zippers this year, and that has included mostly just invisible zippers. I've made a lot of things with invisible zippers. I have actually made some little zipper pouches as well, but those I buy in bulk, so they don't have really any trash associated with them or packaging. But my favorite purchase this year for sewing is definitely this rotary cutter. So when I first got it, I didn't necessarily know if I was going to like it, but I love this so much now. So it has the safety guard on it that when you're not in use, the blade just goes right back into the rotary cutter. So you don't have to worry about cutting yourself. You don't have to worry about like a pet or somebody else cutting themselves on this. I have found it so helpful and so useful. I bought this to help with my arthritis, and I will say that overall I do think it has been really useful. I just love the safety feature. Taking on and off the blade is also really easy because of how they made it on the side. So you just kind of unscrew that and then the blade can come off from the front. Overall though, this has been my favorite purchase that I've made this year. And then my second favorite purchase has been these bulk pack of needles. So each of these comes with about 10 in it, and then I got off Amazon, it actually was a 2-pack. And then I did get some of these overlock needles as well, and they worked perfectly with my serger. So definitely highly recommend if you're looking for needles to go with the Singer needles. And these are for your sewing machine. They work with most sewing machine brands though, so I'll include a link to those too. This year has been so much sewing. I've had so much fun with all of these different products. Let me know what your favorite product of the year was. I would love to find out more. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.